Hi, and in this episode, the High Elf Hunter Halthete has been helping out Radaghast the Brown, one of the 5 wizards. But who are the wizards? Where did they come from? And what is their purpose in Middle-earth? About 1,000 years after Sauron was defeated at the end of the Second Age, the leader of the Valar, Manwë, discovered that Sauron's power was growing once more. Although it was incredibly important that the Valar did not interfere too much in the lives of men and elves, the beloved creations of the all-powerful Ilúvatar, Manwë felt that the peoples of Middle-earth should not feel that they had been abandoned as the growing shadow made its presence felt once more. So, it was decided to send a small group of Maiar to aid and counsel the free peoples. Eventually 5 were chosen to form the Herand Istarian, which mean Order of Wizards. Carumo, whom we know as Saruman, was eager for this task, as was Alatar. Olórin, whom we know as Mithrandir and some call Gandalf, did not wish to go. He was afraid of Sauron and thought himself too weak to be of use in this war. However, Manwë saw qualities that Mithrandir did not see in himself and ordered him to go. Yavanna, the Valar of plants, asked Carumo to take Iwendil with him. This is the wizard known as Radaghast, for whom I am performing a few tasks currently. Finally, Alatar took Pallando as a companion, and the 5 were ready to travel to Middle-earth. Maiar, just as with all Ainur, those created by Ilúvatar himself before the world of Arda was ever born, are spirits and cannot be seen unless they take physical forms. They are also extremely powerful. They may be less than the Valar, but to the peoples of Middle-earth they are still as gods walking the earth. But the Istari were forbidden to match Sauron with the might and power which were within them. The children of Ilúvatar must fight their own wars and be masters of their own destiny. The Istari, or wizards as we refer to them, were to advise only. As such, it was decided that they should take the forms of old men. This would lend them an air of wisdom without the danger of having them dominate the kingdoms of Middle-earth and take power for themselves. This was not to be a war of gods against gods. So it was that 1,000 years into the Third Age, the wizards came to Middle-earth. Not much is known about Alatar and Pallando, the 2 blue wizards. They headed east, and naught is known of their deeds there. The Easterlings are a race of men loyal to Sauron and who fight for him when called. Perhaps the blue wizards have been weakening them in order to reduce the potency of this force. Rumours abound that they formed cults of sorcery amongst these men, but my travels and those of my people have not really taken us to such lands often, and so much more than this is just speculation. Carumo became head of the Herand Istari and became known as Saruman the White. Olórin was the wisest of the order and would ordinarily have been their leader, but he was plagued with doubt and so instead became Gandalf the Grey. Both Saruman and Gandalf spent much time with the free peoples of Middle-earth and gained much respect amongst the various kingdoms of men, elves and dwarves. In the year 2463 of the Third Age, a second White Council was formed in order to coordinate efforts against Sauron. Saruman the White became its leader. Several hundred years later, Gandalf came to the council with news that the necromancer of Dol Guldur was Sauron himself. Saruman spoke out against action, however, saying that Sauron could not possibly regain his full strength after his defeat at the end of the Second Age. It was at this point that Gandalf began to suspect Saruman of desiring the Master Ring. Gandalf was a secret bearer of a Ring of Power himself. One of the 3 rings given to the elves passed from the elf Círdan to Gandalf because he thought him the wisest of all the wizards. Only Elrond and Círdan knew that Gandalf bore the ring, whose name was Narya. Sometime later, Saruman learned that the servants of Sauron were searching the River Anduin, close to the location where Isildur fell, and the Master Ring was lost. Saruman did not reveal this information to the council, but he did agree to an assault on Dol Guldur, nearly a full century after Gandalf had first come with news of the necromancer. Ever the cunning strategist, Gandalf sent Thorin and his company to reclaim Erebor at the same time. With Sauron and Smaug both under threat, they would not be able to come to the other's aid. The White Council drove Sauron from Dol Guldur and he fled to Mordor. So, Saruman and Gandalf both gave counsel to men and elves as they were bidden to by the Valar, even though Saruman strayed from the intended purpose. The 2 blue wizards went east and out of recorded knowledge. But what of Radaghast the Brown? Well, he is an interesting character and I shall tell you all about him next week once I finish slaying these undead wights for him. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Order of Wizards. If you did, then please click the like button and comment below, share with others who may also be interested, and subscribe for further content. And until next time, I'll see you later.